What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're talking about a topic that pops up every single season, especially now with rumors floating around: OG Fortnite movement. Not removing sprinting or sliding or any of that, but what people mean by OG movement is the feeling Fortnite used to have. Slower strafing, more grounded jumping, less explosive speeds, more predictable peaks, a heavier, weightier movement style. And the big question is, would that old school style even fit the modern Fortnite metas today? Because as the game keeps evolving, especially after Chapter 5 changed the animation systems, running feel, and overall flow, people are wondering if we actually want a return to that classic Fortnite movement vibe. So today, we're breaking it down. What OG movement really was, what changed in Chapter 5, why the old style might not match today's meta, and whether Fortnite would actually be better with some OG movement flavor mixed in. So let's get into it. When players say, I miss OG movement, they're not saying they miss no sprint, no slide, no mantle. None of that. They're talking about the style and weight of movement. OG movement felt heavier, more grounded, more predictable, slower when strafing, less momentum based, more drag when you changed directions. When you jumped, you floated a bit. When you peaked, you couldn't instantly change directions mid animation. When you ran, the camera didn't bounce like modern tactical sprint. It was simpler and more readable, especially in build fights, but it also wasn't nearly as fluid or smooth as modern Fortnite. That's part of why the game evolved. So again, nobody's saying removing sliding or sprinting. OG movement is a feel, not a set of missing mechanics. Chapter 5 introduced a huge shift in Fortnite's movement style. Smoother animations, quicker directional changes, faster straf speeds, better sprint flow, more responsive peak movements, and overall more athletic character animations. Even if you keep sprint, slide, and mantle, the baseline character handling changed. Shotgun fights became faster, strafs became tighter, peaks become snappier, movements became part of skill expression. So the rumor about OG movement coming back isn't about removing mechanics, it's about the way the character handles. The feeling of weight, the timing of movement, the animations, the speed of strafing, and the grounded vibe Fortnite used to have. And this matters because most players who say I want OG movement back aren't literally asking for 2017 movement tech. They're actually asking for slower pacing in build fights, more readable peaks, more commitment to movement decisions, less twitchy micro movements, more grounded character animations. They remember the vibes of OG Fortnite fights, felt more controlled and less like a sprint side jump montage. But the question is, does that old movement style actually belong in today's meta? Here's the real discussion. If Fortnite tried to bring back the feel of OG movement while keeping sprint, slide, and mantle, would it even work? Let's break it down why it might not. The current shotgun and SMG metas rely heavily on quick micro movements. The peak timing, the left-right switching, the acceleration of your first step, all of that matters. Old school Fortnite has slower, heavier movement. That means peaks take longer, strafs are slower, and fights become more trade heavy. The whole modern weapon sandbox is balanced around faster repositioning. OG movement would make shotguns feel inconsistent. In fact, Fortnite players in 2025 are more advanced than Season 3 pros ever were back then. Peaks were slower, building was slower, edits were slower, there were fewer movement mind games. Put OG movement style in today's mechanical environment, and players would feel like they're fighting underwater. Movement needs to keep up with the insane mechanical skill players have now. Build fights rely on fluid movement now. Even with the sprint, slide, and mantle stain, the core movement speed and directional control affects build fights a lot. Today's building meta expects fast corner peaks, quick elevation changes, instant micro adjustments, and tight window timing. OG style movement slows all of that down. Build fights become more stiff and less reactive, which may not fit the pace of modern Fortnite. Even without touching the traversal mechanics, Chapter 5's new animation system gave Fortnite smoother walk/run control. POIs are built around the fluid feel. Going back to heavier OG style handling would feel awkward on modern terrain, especially in mobility heavy POIs. Again, not removing sprint, but reverting the feel of movement makes escaping third parties harder. Part of what makes Fortnite fun is the ability to reposition fast, dodge shots, slide around corners, and jump peak efficiently. OG movement style limits those micro options. Losing that fluidity would make third parties feel more punishing. Today's combat is built on fast movement decisions. Even with sprint slide intact, if Epic reintroduces OG style slower strafing and heavy movement, the modern combat pacing feels mismatched, almost outdated. Imagine using today's weapons with the animation style of Chapter 1's movement. It wouldn't feel right. Even though OG movement as a whole wouldn't fit today's Fortnite, there are specific parts that could improve the game. And these don't remove sprint, slide, mantle, just refine the feel. Number one, modern movement sometimes feels too floaty, so giving the characters a tiny bit more grounded weight could make fights more satisfying. Number two, not slower, just more readable. OG movement had consistency, even if it was simple. A hybrid could fix confusing desync moments. Number three, modern animations add a lot of shake and bounce. OG movement was simple and clean visually. You can keep sprint while making it look more readable. Number four, again, not removing sprint, not removing slide, just lowering how fast you can spam directional changes. This makes peaks more thoughtful. Number five, peek the corner, commit a little more. Strafe left, commit a little more. Not OG slow, just reducing the hyper twitchiness that brings back OG style clarity without removing any mechanics. So the real answer isn't bring OG movement back completely, but it's also not keep everything exactly how it is. The perfect solution is a hybrid. Keep sprint, slide, mantle, keep parkour, keep fluid movement, but add slight OG style weight. Make strafing slightly more predictable. Tone down animation noise, reduce hyper acceleration, make peaks more readable. Keep the speed, keep the fluidity, just add a touch of classic control. This keeps modern Fortnite fun while bringing back that OG clarity Fortnite players miss. So here's the final answer. We do not need full OG movement back. Not the slow strafing, not the clunky jumps, not the heavy direction changes, but we do want parts of OG movement. The cleaner feel, the weight, the predictability, the readable pacing. A full revert would clash with today's meta, but a hybrid? That could genuinely make Fortnite feel perfect. The key is balance, mixing nostalgia with modern mechanics, and honestly knowing how Epic evolves Fortnite, that's probably what they do anyway. So that's the full breakdown. Let me know in the comments, do you want OG style movement or do you think it's perfect the way it is? Drop a like, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.